A bit of French and some other languages. Yeah.
じゃあ、あなたが話しているすべての言語で自己紹介できますか？
Can you get
Japanese. So you said you could speak Japanese, right? So I.
はい。
自己紹介お願いします。
はい、はじめまして。でも今インドだから日本語ダメですよ。今韓国語を勉強しているじゃないですか。でしょ？はい。
韓国進んでるんだ。
That was just. That's why.
Can you please consider us?
Yes.
Not English, not French, not Japanese, please.
제가 얘기했습니다. 여기는 인도고 여기는 한국어 배우는 시간이라서 한국말로 합시다.
네. 한국 코리안
잘하십니다. 일본어. 네.
네네. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who want to ask? Yeah. Okay. You can give the mic.
Hi.
Hey.
Actually, I just want to know that you have been living in Korea for 10 years. So, what is the reason to live there for 10 years? What is tempting to you there?
Yeah, that's a very good question actually. So, yeah, it's been actually over 10 years since I first came to Korea. The first time I got to Korea was just right now actually. I was traveling in Korea because I was very interested in Korea since I'm a kid. 그래서 처음에 여행하러 갔다가 and I really liked it. I like the people, I like the food, I like a lot of things. 그래서 조금 더 있어보자 하는 생각으로 이제 한국어 배우기 시작했고, and I kind of like, so that's the thing when usually foreigners come to Korea, especially like that was 10 years ago, so that was like very different from the Korea of today. Like foreigners when they come to Korea, everything is like so, it's such like I don't know, like mesmerizing country. You find everything beautiful, people are nice. It's very, especially for me as a European, it's very different from what I know in Europe, in France. So I was like, my eyes were like sparkling all the time. 그래서 조금 더 있어보자. 처음에 한 6개월 정도 있을 예정이었다가 그때 한국말도 배우고 모델 활동하고 있었어요. 그래서 조금씩 계약 연장하고 네. Sorry. Alright. Yeah,
That's
so.
very important part. So.
I'm trying to mix, but yeah, since maybe some of you don't understand. Actually, you can tell me if you don't understand some words when I'm speaking Korean. Anyway, yeah, so I was gonna stay for just 6 months. I was working as a model and I was studying Korean at school. And I extended my contract for another 6 months. And another 6 months, so it was like a year and a half. And
As a model.
So actually, I never kind of left France. I didn't say to my family or my friends, "Oh, goodbye, I'm going to live in Korea forever." But just one day, I wake up in my apartment in Korea, and there is a sofa, there is a bed, there is a TV, there is a lot of clothes, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm living in Korea right now." And it's been like that for 10 years. So yeah. I never told anyone that I still have a cell phone in France actually, so it's a very long trip in Korea, 10 years trip.
여기 마이크 좀 주세요.
근데 좀 놀란 게 보통은 제가 그 약간 미트앤그리트 하면 여자들만 오거든요. 근데 요는 남자 굉장히 많대요. Thank you guys. Thank you.
A person who joined and
Yeah.
he's meeting most of their girls, but today many boys students.
Yeah.
That made him surprised.
I appreciate it. That's cool.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Actually, I wanted to know, 10 years ago, what difficulties you faced when you went to Korea?
What did I feel?
Yeah, you went to the high school, right? So I guess it was difficult on the point of time. So I want to know the situation on the point of time. What you felt when you went there?
About the country?
Yeah, Korea.
So like as I mentioned before, like 10 years, actually almost 11 years now before Korea was very different. It was not the same Korea as today. So now there is a lot of foreigners, a lot of like Korean people. They are more used to see foreigners, like people like me, like just foreigners, like me, yeah. So like 10 years ago, when I would walk in the street, people would be like. And when I would order in Korean in restaurants, like, 저기요, 저 이거 2인분 주시고요, 이거 밥도 추가해 주세요. They would be like. Actually, I remember a funny story I have with some of my friends. So he's Korean, but he was born in France, in Paris, and he doesn't speak a word of Korean, but he looks Korean. And I'm French, born in Paris too, but I speak Korean. So we were in a restaurant together. And of course, I was ordering the food because he could say 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna order. So like the waiter would come to us, and I would be, 네, 저 이것도 주세요. 이거 비빔밥 하나고요. 이거 불고기 하나. And he was like looking at my friend like that. I was the one speaking, so I was here, and he was looking at my friend. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm the one speaking. So he would be looking at me like, yes, and then looking at my friend, 뭐 더 필요한 거 있으세요? So that's just to tell you that was very not common to have foreigner speaking Korean at that time. So that was I would get a lot of stares. That's not a bad thing, but I would get a lot of stares when I was taking the subway and everything. The funny part was like I kind of felt like being a spy because I could speak Korean a little bit, so I could understand what they were saying about me. And I was pretending not to. So that was very funny. I didn't get any bad experience, only like good experiences. So and now it's very different. So like a lot of you guys are learning Korean, speak very good Korean, obviously. And as you can see on TV, there's a lot of foreigners who speak like very, very good Korean. And there's a lot of people in Korea that knows the culture real and everything. And the thing that changed the most is that Korean people, they are more used to us. Like. I don't know the exact figures, but I think the number of foreigners grew by like more than 10 times in 10 years. So like at that time there was maybe a few 100,000, mostly Chinese. And now it's like I do not get the stares anymore, which is good.
Yeah, actually in Korea there are many Indians also. They have one group.
There are.
There are many.
Indian restaurants are very popular.
I already told. Very popular in Korea. Okay. Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, smile. Can you stand up? Sure. Okay, next chance we give you.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
I first saw you in 2 episodes of Super TV that you did. You were so amazing, and all of the foreigners were, but of course you got the most points, so kudos to you for that. My question would be more like you said, you've been here since 4 weeks, and I saw your snaps and everything. You even traveled the metro, and it was chaotic and everything. So I would really want to know how your experience was here in these 4 weeks.
Interesting question. Actually, so I've been here for 4 weeks. I've traveled just in Delhi and Rajasthan because I want to keep the like south part for another trip because I know like how India is like very different, like culturally speaking and everything. India is like one of the places I wanted to travel most since 2 of my best friends. They're French, but they are born from like Indian parents, so they're like Indian and they like go to India every year. So I grew up with 2 Indian friends, so basically I would eat at their places. I would eat Indian food. I know a lot about like Indian culture thanks to these friends. I've been to their wedding, like Indian wedding, so I experienced 2 Indian weddings. And whenever I go to Paris, we always meet up in there is an Indian area where it's just like India. It's just India inside Paris, so Indian like supermarkets, Indian restaurants. So that was my experience with India so far. And now, like coming into the actual country, so that's the first time I come to a place where there is like that many people, which was, so actually, as a European going to Seoul, that was really shocking for me the first time. 왜냐면 서울에 사람이 너무 많아요. 지하철 타면 이렇게. 근데 델리는 이렇게 할 수도 있고 그리고 사람 위에 있을 수도 있어요. 그래도 한번 경험해보고 싶어서 I really wanted to try like the subway like really when it's very packed. So far what I think of the country, I love the food obviously. It's been very good and I met some very good friends. People have been very friendly with me. So I was expecting a lot and I got a lot so far. And like traveling to Rajasthan makes me travel more to like other part of the country because I feel that every single city is so different in itself. And the culture and even the people, when I keep talking to my Indian friends, they're always like, oh, it's so different like regarding the price. Just like, so I was thinking yesterday as a European, it's just like India is almost the size of Europe. So it's just like as if someone's thought like French culture was the same as German or Italy or Spanish. It's so different, people are so different, the food, the language, everything. So I kind of feel it's the same for India. So it makes me want to travel more, maybe to other cities in the future, not for this time because I need to go back to work now. But I'll definitely come back and I'll definitely go home with good memories from your country.
Hi, I'm Sujoy.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. When you started acting, right, did you find that there are any expressions which are unique to Korean which weren't there in English, or some experiences which you found is unique to Korean culture and language, which you could maybe like share with us?
That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. So I started acting when I was a kid in France. So I only did theater in France. And then I started to act in Korea. I started to do theater too. And I realized it's just a totally different thing. They like to overact. If you guys know Korean drama, you can see like always like big drama, like big scenes, like big crying, big like a lot of emotions, a lot of things. So like I had a lot of problems with that actually, because always like 감독님, so like the directors would say, yeah, you should do like more, you should do more actions with your arms, you should cry more. So from what I learned in school in France, like to express like love or like sadness, that would be like very subtle. Like you can feel it, but it's not like you have like this big like drops and everything. But in Korea, so they would like put your teardrops and like okay, action, and like it would just like drop, and you need to do it. So like crying wouldn't be like oh I'm sorry, it would be so that would be like stuff like that, which would be very embarrassing for me at the first time. But now I kind of got used to it. But yeah, as I mentioned, that's a very good question because it's very, very different. And it's also different, there's a huge difference between drama and movies. Like you tend to act more in like more overact in dramas, while in movie it's more subtle. So yeah, that would be my answer for it. If it does.
안녕하세요. 저는 아미샤입니다.
안녕하세요, 아미샤 씨.
I wanted to ask that in Korean there are words like they have similar pronunciation but they're entirely different. So like when you speak marhagi hatte, so like 어떻게, like how did you manage or like make out between those words? And because it's very difficult for me, pronunciation is very difficult for me actually. So I wanted to ask about that.
Like, how did I do like to get my pronunciation better?
Yeah, yes.
So actually pronunciation is a huge problem for a lot of foreigners, especially like non-Asian ones because language is very different. I had a lot of problems with pronunciation, and since I was acting, it's the most important thing. Like people, if I act and people do not understand what I'm saying, it's just, that's nonsense. So I did theater for 2.5 years, and that's when my pronunciation got better. So I would say the same sentence for like 1,000 times, and sometimes my sonbae, so like my senior, would make me like repeat the same word. Sometimes for 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm not kidding. I would say only the same word, and sometimes just for a day, they would be, you're just saying this word just for until you get it right. And I got into a really harsh time with pronunciations because obviously, so my pronunciation was not good enough to be like on the scene. So during 6 months, I was like training with the Koreans, but they were not putting me, they didn't give me any part. The first part I got, I was a tree. I was playing the role of a tree. 네, 나무 역할했습니다. 저 연극. 첫 번째 연극 나무 역할하고 대사는 없었습니다. 네. I didn't have any lines. I was just a tree. But that was my first time here, so that was a good experience for me. I think you need to record yourself, maybe. Because actually one of my problems, so one of the words I couldn't pronounce, I still cannot pronounce it very well now, would be Gangnam. So that's the name of an area. You all know Gangnam Style, right? Yeah. So that's the name of a like posh area in Korea. And I cannot pronounce that. So sometimes I would get into the taxi and say, Gangnam 가주세요. And the taxi driver would be, what? 강남이요. 강남이요? They wouldn't understand me, so that was a very huge problem. But to my ears, my pronunciation was okay. That was like the right pronunciation, but it was not. So you need to record yourself, and when you record yourself, you're like, 내가 발음이 안 좋구나. My pronunciation is not good. So recording yourself would help a lot, and repeating. Be a machine. Be a robot. That's how you learn. Yeah. I guess, yeah, that would be my advice. And do not feel bad about like having a bad pronunciation. I have not a perfect pronunciation in Korean. I have not a perfect pronunciation in English. Neither in French, actually. So don't feel bad about that. Like it's the thing like Korean people sometimes have. When they speak English, they're very shy. 나는 잘 못하는데. 잘하시면서요.
못해요.
But especially with Korean, so if you go to Korea and if you try, they will be very glad to hear that you are making efforts. So they will not laugh at you, of course. They will not say, 발음이 안 좋은데, like, your pronunciation is not good. They will help you. And if you make Korean friends, if you ask them, if you don't, they will not tell you anything. But if you ask them, 저 발음 좀 봐주세요. 저 발음 안 좋을 때 좀 얘기해주세요. If you tell them like to fix you when your pronunciation is not good, that's what I did. I was like, don't be afraid. Just tell me when my pronunciation is bad. And they were like, your pronunciation is bad. That was helping.
Yeah, I think all the Indians who study Korean language here, your tongue already are accustomed to English or Hindi. So, tongue means muscle, your mouth, your tongue, and your throat also. So, do you think that just 1-2 years can cover the training for your muscle? I don't think so. That's kind of a miracle, but miracle can happen very less. My point is that's very natural. You will have that kind of difficulty. But yeah, practicing and checking by yourself or getting some help. So step by step, your pronunciation will be good. So don't make that much hurry in mind. Okay? And as you can see around you, we are here. Korean native speaker teachers are here. So you can get some help. And please show your clear mistake to your teacher. In the case only you can get some help. Okay?
맞아요.
And in his case, he's so lucky, I think, because his job is what? I think in Korean. So what had another option? accepting,
No options.
practicing, repeat. Yeah. In that case, he's so lucky for learning Korean language. Yeah.
So my first drama, I got the book, the script. I pronounce my sentences. I think like 3,000 times each in front of my like the one who was like taking care of me, my manager. Plus that was out of my personal like training. 그리고 지금은 제가 지금 2019년이죠. 제가 2013, 2014년 방송들 보면 와 진짜 한국말 진짜 못한다 이렇게 생각해요. You're always making like progress. When I look at my like TV shows or like drama from like 4 or 5 years ago, I feel very like 창피해요. I feel very ashamed. Like I'm like oh I was not good. What was that? And maybe if I look at my like TV show from now in 10 years, hopefully I would be like, oh, that was not good. So you're always making progress. 그래서 걱정하지 마세요. 네.
Hello, my name is Elja. My question is that I really love Korea and I'm planning on visiting it someday, but the only thing that I'm a little bit afraid of is discrimination. The thing is that in earlier days, as you told that there were times when people would like stare at you like, is it a normal person or not? But in present day Korea, would I get that much amount of discrimination as before? Because I really want to enjoy that country, move around really freely, but I don't want to face that discrimination or people talking behind my back because now I can't understand Korean and I don't want that. So that's what I wanted to ask. Is there any amount of discrimination?
So it's a very difficult question to answer because I will talk about my personal experience as a European Caucasian. So I got stares at the first time, but they were not like stares like, what is he doing in our country? I wish he just go. It was like, just like out of curiosity. So I've been living in Korea for 11 years. I never experienced racism in Korea in 11 years. I've experienced like, it's not race, it's just cute discrimination. For instance, like they would give me like fork instead of chopsticks. So that would be like out of like sheer innocence. And my friends, I told you about, like my Indian friends, they visited me in Korea 6 times. So I was with them for a lot of time in Korea. And the only thing they experienced, one of them is 잘생겼어요. He's very handsome. And he took a lot of pictures. He actually kind of looked like Shah Rukh Khan, but way taller. And a lot of Korean people stopped him in the street and asked to take some pictures. So yeah, I don't think he had any bad like racism experience. I have also 2 other Indian friends. Actually, one from India, one from Nepal. You might know the Indian one, Lucky, is on TV too. Yeah, Lucky. He's been living in Korea for 20 아무튼 he's been living there for a long time, and I don't think he has much problems with that. I can't tell you, oh, go to Korea, you will not get any racism because you don't know, like, I don't know, but I don't think there is much, especially these days. Korean people, they're very used to foreigners, and there is a lot of, she mentioned it, there is a lot of Indian people in Korea, especially in Seoul. So now you can feel more like part of the society. Like before, you could feel that you were like one outside of the group. Now it's kind of like becoming more and more like international, I would say. So don't be like, oh, I don't know if I should go to Korea or not because maybe I might face racism. Don't think about that. That's probably not gonna happen. So 그렇게 얘기해드리고 싶습니다. 어떻게 생각하세요, 선생님?
Actually, what I want to say to you is discrimination. How about around you? You are living in India. There is no discrimination by Indians. I think that's different color adjusted. So wherever, whenever you go any place, you will anyone, there will be some discrimination. Yeah. So what? That's life. And in Korea also, you feel you will meet good person and a better person. All Koreans are not like me. My point is, yeah.
무슨 말씀이시네?
몰라요? Yeah, anyway, my point is discrimination. I don't want to use that. That will be just a different experience. So what? That will be okay. Don't worry that much. Okay? 네. 네. 다른 another
안녕하세요. 저는 비아입니다. Actually, you have been living in Korea and you were learning Korean during that time, so your fluency must have increased as you were speaking to the people around you. So we don't have that option. So like, do you have any, like maybe your own advices or suggestions? Like, as we don't speak Korean on daily level, we only come to class and speak. And maybe if we have some friends, we speak on phone time to time. So any suggestions regarding that?
So yeah, that's true. If you're leaving Korea, obviously you will increase, like you will get better way more faster because you use it every day. You hear new things every day. When you watch TV, it's Korean. When you go outside, it's Korean. So basically, you're making progress like from day to day. 하지만 저도 한국에서 다른 언어를 배웠어요. 한국에서 일본어를 배웠고, 한국에서 아랍어. I studied Japanese in Korea, and I studied by myself with a book. And I didn't even go to school, so you guys should be happy to go to school and have great teachers who are ready to help you. 잘했죠? 네.
We did not plan to do this statement.
So if you want to learn a language, if you really want it, you will learn it. So for Korean, for me, of course, it was more easy because I was living in Korea, but I learned Japanese and Arabic language, and I had no friends from like any Arabic country. I had 2 Japanese friends, but they didn't speak Japanese. Sayuri, she's on TV too, she's almost Korean now. So she would never speak in Japanese to me. I was like, 누나 좀 일본어로 좀 얘기하자. She was like, 무슨 일본어야? Like, let's speak Korean. So if you really want to learn, I think you can learn with books. And like these days, you have so many like ways to learn a language. You have YouTube, you have like social media, you have TV. Like I was interested in Korea when I was like 10 years old. That was in the 90s. Yeah, I'm old. So there was no internet, nothing. Like I could not get anything from Korea. I could not get drama. I could not get like music. I couldn't get anything from Korea. So now I feel that the one who wants to learn a language in 2019 is very lucky because you have so many things. And actually, if you're in Delhi, you kind of are lucky, I think, because there's a lot of Koreans. Even me, in 3 weeks here, I met a lot of Koreans out of chance. Like randomly, I met also some Indian people speaking Korean out of chance, just like very randomly. So I think you have a lot of occasion to practice your language if you want to.
Hi, I'm Arshia. As everybody know that you're quite famous in the K-pop fandom, so you must have billions and trillions of fans. So I wanted to know that what's the weirdest thing a fan has ever done to you?
What's her question? Exactly. What is it that I
Done to me, that was not something that has been done to me, that's a thing that has been asked to me. Someone, a very nice lady, asked me if she could get some of my hair. And she was holding scissors. I run away. That was one of the craziest thing I had. I was always paying attention at my hair after that. Why would you want my hair though?
안녕하세요. 저는 불부입니다. 만나서 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
I want to ask you that you met BTS. So how did you feel and what was your experience? Also, I have to make a request that if you meet them again, please tell them to come to India.
오케이. 네. 사실은 방탄소년단은 데뷔하기 전에 알고 있었어요. I met them before they actually debuted. And I'm friend with J-Hope because I met him like 1 year when he was like a trainee before they actually debuted. And so they debuted in 2013, yeah. And I invited him in a show I was doing at that time. They were not that famous. It's called 최고 라면. So we were like making ramen, and he came to my show and he had my ramen. He didn't vote for me. I was very upset. That was a contest, and he was like, 형 솔직히 맛이 없었어. So my experience with them, I met them. I wouldn't say a lot of times because they're very busy people, but a few times they're a very hard-working person and they know what they want and they get it all the time and they want to be on top and they are on top. So I was not surprised because even before their debut, I was like, oh my god, they like everything is so perfect with them, like their like choreography, dance, and everything. The only part that was missing was like their interactions with fans, and they're very good at it. Like very nice to all the fans, and I think that's the reason of their the reason of their success, and I think they will go even like more on top. I think, and it might be just the beginning because each year they're like breaking new records. So I think they're making a huge part in like introducing Korean culture to like the whole world. And I will tell them to come to India if next time.
Okay. 네, another.
안녕하세요. 저 텐진이라고 합니다. I'll try to ask this question in Korean.
Okay.
Okay.
한국 사람 아니죠?
아니에요.
네.
네. 저 티베트 사람이에요. 저 인도 사람은 아니고요.
네, 집에.
지금 막상 질문하기도 너무 떨리는데, 근데 파비안 씨는 막 뭐 큰 방송에 나가고 그렇게 하시잖아요. 뭐 떨릴 때 뭐 하시는지 뭐 습관 들거나 그런 게 있으신지, 막 지금도 방송하고 적응되는지 아니면 아직도 막 할 때 떨리는 거는 궁금하는 거죠. 네, 감사합니다.
네. So she asked me if I was like nervous before doing like shows or stuff like that. 한국말로 질문했으니까 한국말로 대답해 드릴게요. 떨리긴 해요. 안 떨리면 사실 이상해요. 항상 늘 사실 원래 수줍이 많은 사람이고 낯도 많이 가리는 편이고, 그래서 집이 앞에서 서는 건 아직도 약간 많이 떨리는 거예요. 지금도 많이 떨리고, 아까 계단에서 약간 도망갈까 하고 있었고, 긴장 푸는 방법은 없는데 연극 선배가 그렇게 알려줬어요. 일단은 오디션이나 뭐 중요한 뭐 이런 자리, 뭐 MC 자리나 뭐 촬영하기 전에 사실은 긴장하면 왠지 얘기하고 싶잖아요. 누구랑 옆에 있는 사람 정말 필요 없는 얘기, 정말 필요 없는 얘기 하고 싶게 돼요. 안 하는 게 좋아요. 그냥 혼자서 집중하고, 그리고 저는 호흡 많이 이용해요. 그냥 어떤 식으로 호흡하냐면 그냥 다 머릿속에 그려요. Their hair is going inside. 뭔가 들이마시는 거 다 상상해요. 그러다가 한 이렇게 1분 정도 하면 긴장이 풀려요. 그리고 여기도 스스로 마사지 해줘요. 도움이 많이 돼요. 이런 식으로 시험 보거나 아니면 중요한 자리 있으면 예, 그렇게 하는 편입니다. I hope you guys got what I said. That was not very interesting.
Actually, he was talking about how he can make himself before television show or before Korean drama recording. He told us, yeah, he has his own way for giving massage here or thinking. What?
When I'm breathing, so I try to picture in myself me breathing. Like the air coming inside of my lungs, going out and everything, and it helps to make me more relaxed.
Yeah, I think everyone has his or her own way. So think about yourself. You can find out which way
Your own way.
Yeah, your own way. You can find out.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I just want to ask, how easy or tough is it to get a job in Korea for somebody who doesn't speak Korean?
How about two ways? Somebody who can speak Korean, somebody who cannot speak Korean. That's better.
So, have you heard about the word 취업난? Okay, so
What does it mean?
I would say it's hard not to kill your hopes and everything, but so if you go to a country, you have to, for instance, let's say you want to work in a a publishing company in Korea. So the publishing company is Korean. If you want to work for an Indian company or a company from, that's a totally different thing because you don't need to speak the language. I know a lot of people from France. They've been in Korea for 20 years. They don't speak a word. They say 안녕하세요, 감사합니다, and that's it because they work in a very French environment. Even though it's not something I would recommend though. But if you want to work in a Korean company, so what's they gonna look is your resume, and then they're gonna be like, oh, so what's your name again, sir? Jennifer. So there is 5 people. There is Jennifer, there is Yoon, there is Sujong, there is 4 Koreans and Jennifer. Why would they pick you? They will pick the Korean because they speak Korean. So if you work in a Korean company, of course you need to speak Korean. At least the basics. As far as I know, I think it's topic 5. That would be very helpful for you to work in a Korean company. I would not say it's impossible because nothing is impossible. Sometimes they want just people, just foreigners, but it helps a lot to speak Korean because even when I was first working in Korea, I didn't speak Korean that well. I was modeling, so I was just taking pictures. I was posing, and the better my Korean got, the more jobs I got because obviously that was more convenient for people to work with someone who speaks Korean, so they would choose me instead of other people because I could speak Korean and it's more convenient for them. So I would highly recommend to learn Korean before even thinking of working in Korea.
Actually, I think it is one's life according to what. I don't think most of the human beings' life in the world is not that much different. You can think what kind of careers can work in India. What do you think about that answer? Yeah, most people's life in their country is not that much different. So if you think what kind of Koreans are working here in India, in the case you can get to know the answers. Yeah, with Hindi, with a special skill, with a special, how can I say, English skill, you can think about that. In the case you can get to know what kind of preparation you must do for getting a job in foreign country. Next. Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Sagarika
I want to ask that I saw you in the last drama, Mr. Sunshine. So, how was your experience working with such big and versatile actors? And what is your favorite moment in the drama? On
Mr.
set.
Sunshine? Mr. Sunshine,
yeah, thanks for watching first. I hope you didn't like download on the darknet. Yeah, that was a very huge experience with huge actors like Yoon. I was a huge fan of him. It was a huge experience for me working with these like big actors. What was my favorite part of? I would say like my favorite part. It's not a part. It's just working in a drama by that writer, because I was a big fan of her, and she makes everything so real. Like all the studio were especially built for this drama. So they built a whole city to make it look like it was Joseon Dynasty. And the first time I got on the set, I was like, oh my god, I felt like I was like traveling through a time machine, because everything seemed so real. We were filming during summer, it was like 40 degrees, and there was snow everywhere. And everything looks so real, every single details, even like sometimes you would see on the wall, they would be like very old posters and written in French, and everything was very accurate, even in French. And I checked online, and it were real old posters from France. Everything was so accurate, and I really loved it, because for an actor, it's very nice to work in such an environment, because it helps you to feel like you actually were living in that area. So for people who didn't watch the drama yet, I would highly recommend you guys watch it, and on the legal way, please.
Okay, just actually, I already told you his condition is real bad, but for you, he came here today actually. So I think I must stop this session after you. Okay? Okay.
Sorry, it's me again.
That's alright.
Alright, so we know you've worked with a lot of people, like you were in Abnormal Summit and a lot of shows, and I would want to know like who would like, because you have encounters with so many people, so I would want to know what programs would you want, variety shows would you want to do in future, and who might just be your favorite MC?
MC?
Yeah.
So programs I would like to do Running Man again. Yeah. Because that's, I think, as far as I remember, like except drama, because that's another part of the job. That was the most fun I had while filming a TV show. I was a huge fan of the show. I really wanted to be on that show, and like my first experience, and I was just a kid. I was playing inside the TV, so I was not taking I was not carrying a lot of everything around. I was just enjoying my time, and that was the most funny show I ever done so far. And I wish I could appear on that show again. And as for my favorite MC, if I don't say Jeon Hyun-moo is gonna be pissed after me, so I say Jeon Hyun-moo. I think you guys know him as the MC in. Abnormal Summit. He's doing a lot of shows. He's a very, very nice guy. On camera, outside of camera, is such a nice person. So on camera, his kind of image is like, we call it mipsang in Korea. So it's like he likes people to hate him, but he's such a good man. So 현무 형 사랑해요.
I didn't know that how character Jeon Hyun-moo is like. Okay, now we can say 감사합니다 in Korean for today's event to him. Can you say? 네, 감사합니다. And the last time, the last things we will do, we must do is what? Group photo. Taking group photo with him, right? You can have.
we are not even coming, going. Is that a? नहीं आएंगे.